Let me start by saying welcome. This is our first ever huddle for foodies, and it's an experiment. As you all know, my name's Ian Randall, and I'm the director of two small businesses myself. One is really my own, is Wasafiri. We work on all sorts of complex issues. We're a consultancy. We work on food systems change. And then the other one is really my sister's, who's here, Katie, because she runs a brilliant sustainable beach cafe, and it's sort of the family business. So I'm also a director there. But as you know, I ended up leading this work to bring food SMEs into the UN Food Systems Summit, and we ran this wonderful competition of which Claire, Raphael, and Aries, you are winners of the best, 50 small businesses around the world. And at the end of that, I was like, oh, these people are amazing. There's all these amazing people all around the world, and it didn't feel right just sort of to let that drop. And wanted to see if we could see a community of people that support each other. So that I looked around and was like, is there a way we can do this in a way that I can manage? And it was that led me to the Good Food SME Hub. And Aries, to answer your question, I found this wonderful, sort of essentially a white label kind of platform that was easy to use, that led me to go, well, let's give this a go, and do have some kind of early funding from EIT Food just to kind of hold this for 6 months and see if we can end up building community. We're at 280 members already. And this call, I thought, well, I need to start building a relationship where we all meet each other and support each other, and let's have an experiment. So this was very much a kind of a first go. So I'm really pleased to have what I think some really brilliant, I know you're all brilliant entrepreneurs, turn up and see if we can start supporting each other. There were 30 people that RSVP'd. Looks like we've got 6, which is about about right in COVID times. But so let's get into this. I wasn't quite sure in terms of the format what I'd need to do to kind of make it work for everybody. So why don't we actually just go, given we're a small group, why don't we just do a quick go around and share who we are, where we are, and the businesses that each of you are running. And Aries, you were first here, so why don't we kick off with you? Aries, do you want to tell us about just give us 1 minute on your business?
Yeah. Hi, good evening. My name is Aries Asilo, and I'm the co-founder of Circa 1740 Coffee. We do manufacture dip coffee. It's a coffee in a tea bag. It's patented here. And we've been providing jobs to people with disabilities, farmers, women, youths, and especially here when the Taal volcano erupted. So a lot of people lost job, and the pandemic exacerbated everything. So we've been doing a lot of things, and we're expanding right now. We're in growth stage. So we're putting up more stores. And right now there's still some people here, and we have 3,000 orders. It's overtime here in my place. So a lot of things are going on, and we've been receiving inquiries for export abroad, and we don't know how. So we're trying to explore and connect with many people who have experience on that. So this is a good thing, and I really enjoy coming in here and learning from you. So yeah, I think this is more about all of us and more about learning. Thank you, Ian. Again, my name is Aries. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Aries. Okay, Katie, you were next. Tell us what you do.
Hi, so I'm Katie, and I am the director of Yellow Wave, which is a beach volleyball centre, and it's the only one of its kind in the UK. And we've got 6 beach volleyball courts, a clubhouse room, which we use for like Pilates, yoga, that kind of thing, and then a cafe, which really has become the big challenge. So we've been open for almost 15 years. And as a beach volleyball player, that was why we opened. I was passionate about beach volleyball. And we thought, oh, we'll just add a cafe on. That'll be nice. And actually, the cafe itself has created the majority of the work, I would say. And we are very simple, kind of fair, but we're on a mission to become really environmentally friendly. So we're carbon neutral, but we're aiming for, I'm still getting to understand all the terminology, but kind of near net zero. And we've become the kind of, in Brighton, in the UK, on the beach, we've become the kind of forefront of all the businesses here, reducing our use of plastics, throwaway packaging, and kind of sustainability in terms of the seafront businesses. So that's
Thanks, Katie. Super. Claire, give us your 1 minute elevator pitch.
I was just looking up where Yellow Wave is. I've got my daughters are volleyball players, so I could send them there. They don't do beach volleyball though, because we don't have many beaches here. We're landlocked. So I'm Claire Sands Baker. I'm co-founder and director of the Toothpick Project. We are an innovative bioherbicide development. So right now, the whole herbicide weed killing business is synthetic chemical herbicides. And so we have one of the first commercialized biological herbicides. We're called the Toothpick Company because we actually use a locally sourced fungus. We select, that's a disease for a specific weed called striga. We select for strains that are more virulent than just the general ones found in nature, so that we can then distribute those strains of fungus to the farmers on toothpicks, and they can grow their own inoculum, and then they plant that rice inoculum with their maize seeds, and it wipes out the weed. And the weed is called striga, or witchweed, and it's on 40 million farms across Africa. It's considered the worst pest threat to food security in Africa. So it's quite an innovation, and I actually work with my dad on it as well. He's the scientist behind it, so then I'm rolling it out. We have our pilot company based in Kakamega, Kenya, and we've been working on this. My dad's been working on it since 2008 in Kenya, and I started in about 6 years ago. And we started our company in 2018, and we just got our commercial registration in March. So it's been a very long time, but we're finally rocking and rolling. And now we're seeking funding to expand into other countries. We trained scientists in 12 other countries in 2018. So now once we have funding, we'll be able to effort them select their strains of the fungus, and then set up small companies in those countries as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And okay, so let's move on. Raphael, your 1 minute elevator pitch, just so we can all know who's in the room.
Hi. Well, before doing my elevator pitch, I just want to say thank you for this meeting. I think it's amazing for, show up and support each other. I think that we've just went through this program at Thought for Food and IDEO. I don't know if someone was in the cohorts. Was anyone here in the cohorts? Were you?
Yeah, I'm in cohort 11.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
exhausted.
Mine was 12, so we were close to each other.
Yeah.
But we basically, I don't know if everyone was aware of this, but IDEO, Thought for Food, and Rockefeller Center gathered this entrepreneurs, scientists, and everyone involved in food systems for 12 weeks. And they divided in 24 cohorts to bring solutions for food systems. And mine was scaling agroforestry. Which one was yours, Claire?
Mine was mainstreaming agroecology and regenerative agriculture.
Cool, yeah.
I actually saw you. I saw you your presentation.
Yeah, I think I saw yours too. But I was just discussing with my cohort yesterday that we spent 3 months in this project, and we pitched in the food summit for skating partners, and nothing, for us at least, nothing came out of it. And I was so sort of pissed because I think that there are a lot of investors and scaling partners out there looking for solutions for food systems. And maybe this matchmaking, it's not just going as far as we wanted to. So I appreciate that we are here and maybe we can move forward some projects that we're involved. So anyways, that being said, my name is Raphael. I am a CEO and founder of a food company in Brazil called Nu. We make cheese bread, pão de queijo. I don't know if you guys ever tried, but it's sort of like croissant in France or bagel or donut in US. It's like the biggest consumed bakery nationwide. And we are a carbon neutral company, and we are launching next week a circular economy sort of green factory that we built to bring solutions, regenerative solutions for food systems in Brazil. We have the biggest biodiversity in the world, and we are so far from bringing good solutions for food systems. So what we're trying to do here is not only make amazing gluten-free yucca-based products, but also prove that we can bring the whole food system, suppliers, smallholder farmers, industry, packaging, everything in a more virtuous, or I don't know, like, I don't know the name, but yeah, better solutions. Let's put it like that.
Thanks, Raphael.
I love those little Brazilian dough ball things. I don't know what are they called?
It's called pão de queijo.
Okay, yeah, we have a Brazilian yeah, I love them. We can buy them frozen in our stores here.
Yeah, they are in US. There is this brand called Brazil Bites, and they're everywhere. Yeah,
there's
Brazilian.
We have two different brands. They're really delicious. I'll try yours.
Well, hopefully we go to US soon. That's what I hope.
Okay. I could listen to you talk, all you folks talk about your businesses forever, but if we're going to go deep on something, we should also just get through introductions a little more pace. So I'm going to ask the others to introduce themselves briefly. Annabelle.
Hi, mine's easy because I'm not actually an SME. I'm here under false pretenses. So I work for the government in England on food and drink SMEs and trying to improve their experience, build them up, help them to grow. So I'm here to kind of hear about the main issues that you guys are experiencing and think about how we can make sure that SMEs in England are supported over that. So export's a big one of them areas. So we're currently got loads of export packages and things like that to support SMEs. But yeah, just here to listen, basically.
Thanks, Annabelle. Great to have you here. Andres?
Hello. For me, it's a pleasure to be here. And sorry for my English is not so good. I'm from Quito, Ecuador. Right now, for me, it's a pleasure to be able to share this space with you and to have the opportunity to pivot my concerns regarding what I am doing to achieve a tool for the digital transformation of small farmers through AgroWorks, which is an intelligence marketplace of proximity. The intention is to give a tool to the small farmer to connect with markets and give them some well, okay, that's it.
Thanks, Andres. Your internet was a bit wobbly, but I heard that you have you've got a platform for working with smallholders and linking them digitally to markets and services. Javier, you spend 1 minute introducing yourself. Okay, well, no,
I'm just coming back. Hello.
Okay.
I'm just coming back to my place. I took my
Okay.
kids to school, so I'm here now. So my name is Javier. I am a partner and CEO of Smartfish Inc. And Smartfish Inc. We are a trader of seafood, of sustainable seafood. We work with small co-ops, artisanal fishers, to make them earn more fishing less. And we have 3 stores right now in Mexico City, and we export a little bit to the US and sell to restaurants and hotels. Okay. So more or less that's. And I like this idea because I've been trying to do some type of collaborative effort with the producers that we work with. We sell other products like dairy and stuff like that from small projects. And this idea of trying to make a group to share problems and ideas and solutions is great. So thank you for the invite.
You're very welcome. I'm really pleased to have you folks all here. You're genuinely inspiring in terms of what you're all doing. It feels a real privilege. And actually, it's such a contrast after the grandeur of the summit last week and all the big talk, and then to hear the requests of what people are actually struggling with, you as pioneers of actually making food better. And listening, I can hear people wanting to grow their business so they have greater impact, to innovate so you're kind of solving some of these problems, and also spaces for us to advocate so that SMEs get kind of heard in these spaces and remembered, because we are underpowered as voices. So thanks, Defra, for being here to listen in. But so let's dive in. And there's 2 of you that kind of present, well, actually 3 of you that presented things that you were struggling with, that you shared with me in advance. So let's go through them. And I think there's a nice mix here. Aries, you started off, you have a great product in the Philippines, and you're curious about exporting. So tell us, where you are on that journey and what your questions are, that maybe it sounds like some of the people on this call have already figured out how to sell overseas, and we've even got the British government online. So there's a great resource for you.
Yeah, actually, before COVID, I was traveling in Hong Kong, and I was sending some products in Japan, in the US, in the Middle East, and I have not tried in Europe. But I had a meeting with Portugal embassy and the Indonesian embassy, and there had 2-way trade, but not with the Philippines. So here in the Philippines, it's mostly the Western part, which is the US, who's our major trading partner. So. And I really had a hard time trying to figure out how we can export there, because it's coffee. Almost all people love coffee, and ours is a dip coffee. You just pop it up and put water and dip it, and you had a coffee. But still a real instant coffee, not the typical 3-in-1. So I have a difficulty trying to find my way going there, and because most of you are nearer that part. It couldn't be just Europe. It could be the US or somewhere in Africa and the other part of the world. So I really have no idea. And I think I heard someone said that they have already a branch in Kenya or somewhere there. And I believe that's somehow like a small light there. There's something like ding. And I think they have that experience, and hopefully along the way. I do not expect to get the answer right away, but I'm trying to explore and get prepared for it, that when COVID ends, I probably have already an idea, and perhaps when I go to the US, I can, hey Ian, I'm here. Maybe you can live here, or hi Claire, I'm here as well. Oh, you're there in Brazil, and I'm actually will be conducting my internship with a Brazilian owner. They call it Casa Brazil, and with the Coffee Institute. So the US is giving me a lot of platforms. So I'm trying to get as many resources as possible, and probably get to the way that I wanted to go to. And yeah, I'm not really sure of where this will lead me, but I'm exploratory, and I'm trying to find a lot of resources, specifically a network like you. So yeah, it's still like yeah. So
Is anybody, my first thing is, does anybody have any clarifying questions for Aries about that would help you understand his ambitions for export or his process?
Yeah, sure. So your product is the coffee that you're sourcing, and then you're packaging it in like tea bags,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll
Um,
show you. Lawrence, can I have some coffee? The 6 coffee. I'll show them the coffee. Still, we're still open here, and there's still a lot of. May I show it to you? So that we call it Dipbag. It's which we own the patent here. We just recently won our 3rd award for that. The first one is the UN, the second is the USD, United States Department of Agriculture, and the other one now is with the Department of Science Technology. So Lawrence, can I have that sample? Isa lang. Quick. No. The tibag is this one. Here. Yeah, show you. Thank you. Here. Here. It's here. It's here. We use an organic material. We're now exploring about this made of corn material, abaca material, banana material. So we're doing lots of researches here. So it's a porous material, and then you dip it, and it's just like you're dipping the coffee in hot water and let it stay for like 2 minutes, depending on your taste. It's easy. Still instant, but true coffee. And you can use it multiple times.
I want that for when I go camping.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
That's exactly what I thought.
I just thought,
Especially
oh my
when
gosh, because I always want a decent coffee when I'm camping, but you don't have anywhere and I can't be bothered to make the pot. That's the camping world, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to bring a gas, something to boil the water. Just
I've
bring
got that.
Yeah, just put water. You don't need to do the pour over. Yeah, the drip coffee. Just a pour over water. You don't need to do that. But of course,
I have to say, our collective reaction as those of us in Europe and the US, of which that would be a great camping solution. I wonder whether you should sell it to REI. You know, REI is the biggest outdoor store in America, and they've got all sorts of great products. And I can see your coffee sitting up there to feed the American camping kind of campers coffee habit.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
There are
REI.
some companies. I'm sorry, Claire. There's this company in US that are doing something. Do you know them, Aris? This company in US that's doing dip coffee, but the mechanism to do the dip coffee is like they have this clause. I don't know how to call that.
Oh, yes,
have you ever seen it?
Yeah. That's what I would do. That's what my friends use when they go camping. It makes a terrible mess.
That's drip. That's
drip coffee. Drip coffee.
That's drip.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this one is dip. It's just dip.
It's dip. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't need to put the water in the cup. The water is already here. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There is a company in my it's a company in my town that does dip coffee in tea bags, but I haven't bought it for camping because it's really expensive. So we tend to buy the little Starbucks. You know, they come in a little plastic bag, and it's just instant coffee. Or we bring our big press. But gosh, it's a great market.
Did you
I
see
can send you the link.
Annabelle here suggests there's sounds like Annabelle's got links to the Tellers of Harrogate, which must be one of the biggest tea and coffee purveyors in the UK. So maybe there's a connection there.
Coffee bags, Tellers of Harrogate, and I'll check that.
Javier, it sounds like you export to America, to the US. You're the person here that sounds like you figured out how to export. As a small business that's figured out how to export, is it worth it? It seems like a huge amount of work to figure out how to sell into another market when you are perhaps could be doubling down in your own market where you know what you're doing, you've got your networks. Do you feel like actually is it the right journey to go on?
I mean, I think I think export, you need to think about export if your market is not enough for you. But when we started producing the fish and looking for markets, we already had some contact from customers in the US, and it was and it was also an idea for the co-ops to sell them that they were proud of producing something that can be export. And so we had a customer. I think if you want to export, the first thing is that you need to find a customer before doing any export, right? That's when we're talking about what steps to follow. Is like you find the customer and then you just solve the export. And for the export that I did, I looked on the internet. I looked for a company that do the brokerage, like the people that do the paperwork for the export. And I just went to the border and talked to them, like knock the door and say, I want to export this, and that's it. Wow. It's like just do it. I just did it like that. And it worked. But yeah, I think it's right now if I can sell the fish at the same price that I sell it to the US, then I try to sell it in Mexico. And the advantage for us of exporting was that you can make a larger sale in only one step, and they will pay you maybe a little bit in advance and something, and the rest in 30 days, and then you have you improve your cash flow. Yeah, that was the idea of doing the exports for us. Is you don't have as high as cost of operation for the export. But yeah, right now I prefer to sell it in Mexico. And now with COVID, exports are a little bit more complex, and when you are exporting fish, it's a little bit more difficult. So yeah.
Yes. Do you happen to have also an exchange? For example, you export there, and in exchange you have to import some of their products. Okay. Does it happen?
No. Does it happen? Mexico, no. But if you're gonna go to like export to the US, I will also look at the option of going through Amazon, like go to marketplace in Amazon
e-commerce
to them, because then they solve all the logistics. You don't have to take care of anything else but sending the product.
But Javier, who is selling your product? Do you have like a distributor or something in US? Because you sell for someone and someone goes and sells to stores, right? Is it distributor?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Like here in the Philippines, we have our distributor, and that's what they do. It's just that I'm worried about the regulations, the exportation fees, the freight forwarding, and everything. But yeah, I love all your inputs.
I think for all of that, you have to contact. I mean, that's how it works in Mexico. Is there you contact is like a trader company that do the export, like do all the paperwork and everything. And
but it's a Mexican company, right?
Yeah, in this case, it's a Mexican company exporting to a US company, a distributor in the US, and then they sell the fish in different places in the US. So I think the idea of, going through a distributor is a good idea, because then they take care of all the paperwork in their country.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's the best thing to do, so that to remove some logistical nightmares, somebody else will do it, and I focus on the product. I find a good market there, or a client, start from there and try to contact the people that I saw in the chat. Thank you so much for all of that.
Try the idea of Amazon. I think I know people that have tried that and it worked for them, because they start selling through Amazon, and then their brand is started to get known in the US, and then they go and export from this for themselves and sell directly or something. But it can work.
Okay, thank you.
Super.
Thank you.
Well, that's fascinating, and it's fun. I didn't know how I was curious whether we'd find ourselves having conversations that were enriching for people. So it's good to have a sense that actually between us, we can spend 10 minutes usefully helping somebody out. So let's try it again. Javier, you sound like you are hoping to reduce the plastics in your packaging. That's the thing that you flagged up. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have like infinite challenges, but yeah, that is one of them. Yeah, the thing is we sell fish that is frozen, vacuum packed, and with a traceability sticker. And to vacuum pack a fish, you need to use plastic bags. You need to use plastic bags to do the packaging. And a big part of our model is to work with co-ops so they can really learn how to process the fish, and they have the capability of processing frozen, vacuum packed, so we can pay them for all those steps on top of the fish. And so in that way, we can pay them more than 100% more of what they were getting before, right? But we need to wait, and if they can frozen the fish, then they are no longer like slaves of the season, right? They can save the fish frozen and sell it when the price is better. So it empowers them to have more control on their catches and the selling price of the fish. So frozen for us is a big deal, and it's a central part of our model. But then when you start working with that, then customers say, I love your project, I love everything, but what about plastics? It's like, we are always against plastic, and the ocean is getting polluted with plastic.
Yeah.
I have the same problem
with plastic, right? So we develop like a recycle strategy, and every customer can bring to the store every package that they buy from us, and we will make sure that it gets recycled the proper way. But we are looking always for a way of working that avoids plastics, or we can have a better material that can work. And it's not an easy challenge. we haven't.
It's not. I'm in the same path as you. This is my packaging. It's plastic as well.
Yeah.
And we are looking. We moved forward in this discussion with a few companies. Do you know this company in US that's called Alter Eco? I'm gonna write in the chat. I think people folks Alter Eco. They're a chocolate company, and they've done the first plastic recycled that was out there in the news. And I went in contact with them, and they sent me all details of suppliers. So I'm going to share with you. I'm going to look it up while we discuss here, and I'll share in the chat. But it's like 4 times higher than the price that I pay here in Brazil. So it's not, viable for now. And then there is a second option that we have here. I don't know if you have in Mexico. They're doing this half and half plastic. Half, it's 50% is plastic, and the other 50%, it's from sugarcane. So it's less, it's sort of like a half less plastic. And I can also send you the contacts for the company that do here in Brazil.
I would love to.
And there is this third option. That's what we're doing now that we didn't do the change yet, is that we are compensating 100% of the plastics. I don't know if you do that, but we don't compensate, and we just started with our zero waste and zero carbon footprint like challenge, because we're a big company and we signed for that. But we are trying to do it without compensate, unless we can reduce and compensate on a natural way, not buying. Compensation. I feel you. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, I feel that if we want to solve all problems in once, we're not gonna be able, because you need suppliers. So it's like you need sustainable packaging suppliers to go out of plastic. But at least for us, it was a good option, because there is this really good company here in Brazil called Eu Reciclo, and they are a compensating company. So you go there and you say, okay, I've put it out, I don't know, 100,000 plastic bags this month, and then they go in the market and they get 100,000 plastic bags sort of in the same weight as yours, and they compensate. So it's sort of like carbon compensation. It's like it doesn't get you we're the second year that we compensate. You don't get to, you can reduce, but you're still putting carbon in the atmosphere, but at the same time you're compensating the ones that you're throwing out. So I feel there's these three options for you. I'm going to send all the links in the chat.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for all. I mean, it's really like, it gives me hope that we can find more answers.
Javier, I'm interested, where are you getting the pressure to where are you feeling the pressure? Is it in yourself to say, I want to get rid of this? Or is it because there are people that are buying from you that are, okay.
I mean, we as a company want to be, like when you start doing something that has environmental impact, then you want to go all the way, right? It's like we started with fish and we are trying to improve the way they work in the communities, and then we try to find solutions for them to have water or electricity or stuff like that. And then you say, well, I'm doing all of this and I'm moving my fish by truck instead of air, so I reduce the carbon footprint. And so we are doing everything. And then you say, but I have this plastic bag there that is always there, like on top of my head. And customers are also a pressure because, some of the customers, the ones that are really engaged with us about, they like our impact, our sustainable seafood and everything. They want to get rid of plastics. So
I mean, it's a question whether you could totally rethink the way the delivery happens. It seems like you'd have to totally rethink the supply chain. I was looking at Freshlands, who are another one of the winners in Denmark, and they included fish in their offering, but they're basically turning up and they're managing direct kind of farm, or in this case, I suppose, sea to consumer deliveries. So they're getting the pre-order. So with it's mostly, I think, fruit and vegetables, but it's also, they're managing to turn up with fish. But it looks like they're turning up with them on a kind of a bed of ice in a reusable container that gets delivered and taken home again afterwards, taken back to, for reuse. But I can imagine that can only work if you've got a very particular supply chain and you're in Denmark where everybody's by the beach, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe not. I mean, if you are in the US, a lot of the major cities are by the sea, right? If you live in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, San Diego, New York, there's a lot of big cities that are close to the sea, and then you can have these solutions that work really great. The thing in Mexico is that fish comes from I mean, the closer place would be 500 kilometers away, and there's almost no fish there. So the fish that we are producing or selling travels more than 1,000 kilometers. So we cannot bring it in that way. And and I mean, we by moving by truck, you reduce the carbon footprint by I think an order of 10 times, because it's when you fly it's a lot more. But and fresh food, you need to find the solution exactly like the one that you said, that you have a container with some ice and you put the fish there and that's it. But if you have to move it from other places, usually what they do is that they have to wrap the fish on plastic, put it on a foam container and fly it. And so is way more,
it's worse.
more contaminating or polluting that using a plastic bag. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, all these ideas that all the contacts that Raphael has just sent is, I'm gonna look for them. I mean, there's a solution in Mexico with biodegradable plastic, but the thing is, this is a plastic that is treated in a way that it will break in small pieces faster. But then you have a lot of plastic in small pieces, the microplastic that is even worse than having the bag. So that's why we didn't go in that direction.
Are these fishes? Yeah, are these fishes those fresh fishes, or are they processed fishes that you put in packaging? Or processed? When you say processed, you've already put something there to prolong its life?
No. We don't add anything. We don't even use glass eyes or anything. We just took the fish, make it a fillet, like or a chunk of fish, and put it on a bag, and that's it.
I see. We have here, we call the carrageenan plastic. It's made of seaweed. I'm worried of the other materials that you would try to source out, because as I'm a nutritionist and somehow I know how other materials could interact with natural organic materials like yours. And plastic is still the best for fresh items like yours, because you have to vacuum pack it. Because if you will be doing another packaging, there are already some porous items there, and it's no longer vacuum. So the plastic is still the best for that. So there are materials like seaweed, carrageenan, or any other that are probably perfectly fit for that. But you have to do it yourself, because probably it's best that you do your own packaging. You have to experiment of it and try to send it there and have it back to you and see if it is still fresh, rather than immediately trying it in the market. You might lose some customers if you do that. But here in the Philippines, we have a lot of alternative packaging materials. Like it's made of cassava flour, it's made of coconut fiber, things like that, because we have a lot of natural items here. So I'm just worried of its effect on the fishes, because you said it's natural and you don't put anything in it. Plastic is still the best. Probably you just have to say that they have to recycle it or throw it away.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't know, but
yeah, as you say, maybe the best idea is just to have a solution for the plastic at the end, and just close the circle in that way. Because the porous thing is a real issue with the vacuum pack. You can you need to be like impervious to air, right? So it doesn't lose
tight
vacuum.
Yeah.
Or if you have, if it's recycled in the beginning, so it's plastic, but it's coming from a recycled source.
Yeah, usually a lot, we need to look for that also. What I know, and I'm not a specialist on this at all, is that as you recycle plastic, it started to losing some of its properties. And so you need, for vacuum pack, you need like the best quality plastic. And then you can recycle that plastic. At least you have to use a bag, and we do that. You use a plastic bag that you know it can be recycled, right? Because some plastics cannot be recycled. But in these ones they can, and we use it without printing anything on the bag, so you can really recycle it because it doesn't have any inks or anything. So
and recycled materials are higher in microbial presence, so it might affect your fish, so it's not really advisable. That's why plastic is still used, because it has undergone hermetic process, and it's really it has a low microbial load. And recycled materials is high in microbial, so it might affect the quality of your fish. It might get contaminated. So surely you have to be careful in doing alternative materials, unless you check its microbial material presence. So,
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, I participate in all these grand discussions of people talking about how fantastic it would be if we could get to a circular economy. And, it's so wonderful and concrete to go, okay, like these are the really practical things that people who are dealing with this every day need to address. And Katie, you were the other person that messaged me with an issue to bring to the table, which was a really simple one. You're the downstream of folks. You're at the end of the line. You're serving customers, but your question was about glass or plastic within bottles. Really practical.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point where we're carbon neutral, but we've just learned all about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3, which I'm not sure whether everybody knows about. I don't know, because I didn't know about it 3 months ago. So we've been assessed for our scope 1 and our scope 2 environmental impacts. We're now working on our scope 3, which is so complicated. And I guess there's a few things that we're trying to work through. A is finding someone to help us assess ourselves, because it's a big job and I haven't got time to do it myself. It seems like there's not many people out there sort of helping small businesses do that. And then looking at some of the issues, it's like, well, how do we get our suppliers to supply things to us that we can sell that is in a sustainable, you know, like the single packaging, we're getting rid of like all of our takeaway cups, they've all gone now, but we still need to serve things like drinks that people can buy out of our fridge and walk away with, like an orange juice or something that's in a bottle. And we don't know whether or not there's so many arguments about whether glass is better or whether actually plastic's better and you recycle it, or are there going to be new materials soon that can, I don't know really. And I guess we're trying to just find better packaging so that we as a company can control how we do, what we sell, or persuade our suppliers who are selling us food to sell on to supply the food or drink in packaging that isn't just single-use throwaway packaging.
You know what I love is in the chat box, two of you told my sister that she should become a Beaker. I'm a Beaker with my Sophia. I've been telling my sister, but I'm a brother, so it might be better coming from you lot to encourage her to sign up as a Beaker. So Javier, have you found that Beaker have been good at giving advice on how to kind of reduce your footprint in these ways?
They have a program because they are really committed to that. So they have a program to help B Corps to achieve those goals. So they have some part of the program is for free, and then you can even go and select a company that will advise you, and you can even pay them, right? But there's a lot of free advice and tools and work that you can do with them and they will help you with that. And I think how can you say, it's like it doesn't cost you anything at the beginning to try it. So
yeah, thank you.
If you want to be there, you have to be a B Corp, right? But
you need to be a B Corp to access.
Your brother can be there, but if
that's what I was gonna say. Like, to access all this information, you need to be a B Corp, and I'm in the middle. It takes a village.
I think we were paying right. So we're paying the living wage, but not the real living wage. And I think did you have to be paying the real living wage? Oh, okay.
If you go to my recommendation, and Rafaela is telling you is not a downhill process. It's an uphill process. It's a lot of pain. You have to do a lot of things. But for me, it was worth it because you learn a lot about how you should work and a lot of practices that are better for your company. But what you should do is like just apply and do the assessment. It would give you a lot of information. Maybe you think you are not very well in some aspects, but you are in others, and then maybe your qualification is already close to 80 points, and it's not that hard for you to be certified. I would recommend for you to just do the assessment. I mean, it's going to take you maybe 4 or 5 hours or something like that, but do the assessment online.
Maybe more.
But then, I mean, for me, it was worth it because I learned a lot, and some of the things that I learned there are paying off right now. So I recommend to do it. And
I think
I'll definitely do it. I guess I'm at the point where I'm frustrated with the complexity of everything it takes to become more sustainable or make good decisions. So for example, I'm looking at all our fridges where our F gases and seeing what gases, and there is no table out there that just says, like home appliances, for example, you have an A plus, A triple plus rating about how environmentally friendly a fridge is. Now, as a cafe with, I don't know, 10 to 15 fridge freezers, and I want to update my fridge freezers so that they're more environmentally friendly, it's a minefield. I mean, literally, I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what an R60A is, and how, there's no system telling me whether my fridge is environmentally friendly. And so I'm, and that's just one aspect of the whole of the business. And I'm just a little business in Brighton. So I don't think how people across the UK who've got businesses who are so busy could possibly have enough time to try and deal with this big picture picture. I'm just trying to do little steps at a time.
But do the assessment. I mean, one thing that I learned there, for example, is that, and I think it works for the zero waste and everything, is, for example, is when we are also a really small business, but when you start looking into this, it appears that you have to do everything for yourself, and it is not. For example, if you look and let's say how much of your, I don't know, electricity, do you use sustainable sources for electricity? And you say, no, I don't have anything. But if you look in your country, and your country generates some of the energy by sustainable sources. And then you need to know if your city has that.
Like we've got our own energy, so we've got solar panels and we're 100%. But so we're ticking the boxes. But as I work through, so I've done my scope 1 and scope 2. But as I tick through the things that I think I can control within the business in scope 3 emissions, it gets really complicated. And what I would love is some sort of, what I think would be fantastic for the hospitality industry, is almost like a place to go to sort of guide you through this process. But it sounds like perhaps become a B Corp is the way. But it'd be lovely if, you know, the cafe around the corner doesn't have to become a B Corp to access that sort of information.
Katie, are you doing the whole scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 by yourself, or you're doing by yourself?
Yeah, so there's one person who's volunteered to sort of help at what's called the Sustainable Business Partnership in Brighton, who's sort of setting up her own company, and she said, I'll use you as, so we're sort of doing it ourselves. But really, I'd like to phone someone up, and I'm trying to get through to people to say, how much can I pay you to come and help me do it?
I've sent you a link in the chat of the people that supported us in finding our carbon footprint for the products, and also they did the 3 scopes. And since you're in UK, right?
Yeah.
Since like reais, it's like 7 times. It's worth it for you to pay for a Brazilian company, for instance, to do this, because I paid, my business, it's more complex because it's CPG. So I don't know if it's not but I paid like 15,000 reais, which if you divide by 7, it's sort of like 2,000 libras. How do you call that in UK?
Pounds.
Pounds, sorry, I forgot the word. Pounds. So maybe it's a good, I don't know, maybe you can talk to them. I can share the contacts. They're so nice, and they are doing this for ages here in Brazil. They're very reliable, and they even compensate. So they do the diagnose, which is a lot of work, and then they compensate it for you. I've compensated in the rainforest, but they have a lot of different projects where you can compensate. So I'm gonna share their directly WhatsApp for you. So,
Thank you.
Hey, I'm aware we're close to the top of the hour, and I'm really genuinely grateful for you all turning up and putting